Okay, it is week 2 of the 2015 World Championship, day 1. I said because I got more than 500 likes on Facebook. If you haven't done that yet, it's facebook.com/KARONMOSER. Same as my Twitter. The reason the Facebook is there is kind of just if you don't like my memes, though I'm told that I'm more or less followed for my memes and not actually my content. But if you just want the content, like the Facebook. Since I am doing one video for each day of Worlds this week, I thought I'd actually do this one not about Worlds. It ties into Worlds because it involves LGD, but it's about the teams that are up for vote, the Chinese teams for IEM San Jose, which I'm excited that, Chinese teams get to go to IEM San Jose. I was worried after IEM Shenzhen passed and didn't have a League of Legends event that there would be no Chinese teams at IEM Katowice this year. So it's good that we at least get some Chinese teams at the other IEM events. The 4 teams up for vote are Master 3, Vici Gaming, Qiao Gu, and LGD Gaming. And I'm going to talk about each of these individual teams a little bit, their strengths and weaknesses, and you can kind of decide which team you want to vote for. Master 3, okay, is the first one. Masters Looper, Condi, Dade, SMLZ, and Love CDO Raw. They're probably doing Love CDE. This team is internally kind of a nightmare. You've probably seen the big drama where their old jungler, Dreams, previously known as Love ANG or Soist, broke their air conditioner because he was not feeling well. So that's fun for them. No, okay, but there's been a lot of internal issues on this team. It's been kind of like a power struggle between Dade and Love CD almost. Players get replaced, etc. The way Master 3 plays is usually Condi will control most of the early pressure as the jungler. He had a ridiculous, over 80% kill participation for most of the season, and try to get either Looper or Dade ahead. And then later on they'll do team fights where Dade, is really good at late game team fights. There's not much to be said about the bot lane because it's not good, and Looper is kind of off and on. The thing is that almost every player on this roster is off and on, and they were 3rd place in the regular season, I think, until they changed the format, and then other teams started practicing harder and knocked them down really, really hard. They finished 8th. Yes, they finished 8th, and they went against OMG, and they got 3-0 by OMG, who got 3-1 by Vici Gaming. So, you kind of see that hierarchy there. Not a big fan of any decision to vote for Master 3, really. I just don't think there's any legitimate reason. If you like good competitive League of Legends, and you want the teams there to put up as big of a fight as they can, right? And not just be a team that's kind of a free win, or easy to just roll over on, don't vote for Master 3. If you want to see Dade, okay, Dade is a fun time, right? He does well at international events. I don't know why you'd want to see Dade. Actually, I don't want to see Dade because it's almost sad at this point to see Dade, He'll have his good performances here and there. I think his Victor was legitimately probably the best Victor in China after a while. Really, really good at that. Played some Ezreal games where he just dumpstered people. But otherwise, he was okay, He had his ups, he had his downs, he had his Dades. Yeah, okay, don't vote for Master 3. Vici Gaming. Yeah, no, don't vote for Vici Gaming either. But actually, they're not so bad. I think that legitimately the roster changes that they made were pretty good ones. I still don't like that they kicked the top laner and put Dandy in. I don't think that change made them better at all. World 6 is pretty decent, but he's still an amateur jungler, and he still has champion pool issues, I think. He's pretty good at Gragas, and that's about it. We'll see, maybe he's changed by now, but that was kind of my feeling on him. His synergy with Mata improved a lot, and they had a lot of... I feel like World 6 was kind of the duckling that Mata said, okay, Well, I call them Dandy's ducklings because it always feels like Dandy's trying to take them under his wing Yeah, and Mata doesn't really want them, and so they follow Dandy around like ducklings sometimes. But I think that Mata actually is at least agreed to work with World 6 because they have decent synergy after a while. Mid lane, I think Peng is actually a good pickup. Peng could, with more experience, could be a really good mid laner, I think. He has a lot of talent, a lot of raw talent, but he's still extremely green. And I will say that Vasily Schwen and Endless are the same players. They're really not. I think that Schwen is legitimately better. He's still not a god, but Mana makes him look much better and all this other stuff, so I think Vici Gaming is okay. They're okay. They have the ability to get a lot better, but I think the roster will change, unfortunately, so that's not going to happen. But if D&D goes back into the jungle, hey, +1 for everyone. Yeah, so I'm not really feeling Vici Gaming, but they're much better than Master 3. I still don't think they'll be as good as either Qiao Gu or LGD Gaming. Qiao Gu. If you don't know much about Qiao Gu, I've actually done a lot of interviews and stuff with them, which I'll link, so you can learn a little bit more about the players there, about their team house, because I did a tour of their team house as well. I do like Qiao Gu. I'm fairly high on Qiao Gu. I think that either Qiao Gu or Snake would have gotten to Worlds if the qualifier will not be played on patch 5.16, just because I think they were a little bit slower to adapting. That actually could be a huge point against them, because if I played on another patch that changes suddenly, that could be really bad for Qiao Gu. Qiao Gu also have a weakness in their top lane. He used to play a lot of carry style champions, but the way they've orchestrated their team around their jungle and AD carry, he can't really do that, so he's played a lot more utility stuff. And I don't think he's as good at that, and it's just kind of a question mark as to what they do if Qiao Gu has had time to adjust to patches, if they've still been playing, all these other big questions that go around V. Their jungler is obviously Swift, like a good carry jungler. I think that he has kind of the same consistency problems as Cacao sometimes, where he just farms and doesn't do anything. It's really strange. I don't know why they're like that, but when he does have good games, he has really good games. He has a little bit of a questionable engage sense where he'll go all in, right? But the way his team works is that they've compensated that for that a lot. He'll go in, Doingby usually the mid laner follows them, and everyone has really good follow up on that. It's not so much about, like, their team is good not because they're really smart or really good, but they're good because they can compensate really well for their weaknesses. The team works well together, things like that. Doingby is pretty decent. I think the reason why Doingby is good is in part because he has Swift, and the reason why Swift is good is in part because he has Doingby. Doingby plays a lot of different champions, but he'd be better on some utility stuff, just because of the way the team functions, but he has a legitimately good Kassadin, legitimately good Victor, legitimately good Azir. Like, those two champions are usually banned against him. So, I mean, he's pretty good, but he's not like a god. So don't mistake that. TNT, really strong AD carry. He and Imp were really close for most of the season in terms of competitiveness. Their bottom lane falls behind a lot in the laning phase, but he has really good team fighting. And he actually fought Imp a few games in the finals. TCT is more not the biggest fan. I actually honestly don't really understand why TNT likes playing with him so much. Allegedly he really does, but they seem to lose a lot of laning phases off of him overextending or trying to make these weird plays that are awkward. And he doesn't really get caught out as much anymore, and he doesn't die as much anymore. He just makes them lose trades and fall behind really hard. But he's good at disengage. Like, he's pretty good at Janna, for whatever that's worth. And I mean, he can mechanically play the champion, so he's like a step above Kitties. I just think his decision making is really weird. So that's Qiao Gu. I think Qiao Gu would be a good choice. Qiao Gu or LGD. I will talk a little bit more about that decision when I go through LGD. We've seen a lot more of LGD at Worlds. Usually the way they operate is they get either bot lane or mid or head to open up the map. Mid roams, support roams, holds down. They usually have like good communication on CPs, but that hasn't been working for them at this tournament at all. I think they've all been really underperforming. So I think that makes the decision between LGD and Qiao Gu that much closer. Because typically I just say send the best team, and that's LGD. That should be LGD, right? But because of the way they've been performing, that's a much more difficult question. They had a bunch of series throughout the regular season where kind of wish Qiao Gu had gone to Worlds instead of Invictus Gaming, because I think that Qiao Gu you can at least predict where they'll go. With Invictus Gaming, it's like either they'll make the finals or they're balling out in groups kind of thing, you know? But I feel like Qiao Gu, it's like, okay, they'll probably get out of their group, depending if they take it seriously, right? And maybe they'll do something in quarters, depending on their matchup. They didn't go, so I'm done crying about it. I'm worried that by the time November happens, LGD won't have their shit together still. Because I feel like the problems they're facing are not things that they're able to solve right now. And I'm not sure if they'll be able to solve it by November. Otherwise, I'd say, yeah, definitely LGD, because I think LGD can learn from the mistakes they made here. Obviously, you need to take this shit seriously and practice much harder, allocate your resources, figure out what's good on the patch, what the meta is before going to the tournament, etc. So they'd be the better choice, but I don't know if they have enough time to figure their stuff out, or if there'll be too many problems in the team, and it just won't be a good time for them to go. Qiao Gu, I don't know. It's really hard, but I think that you should vote for either Qiao Gu or LGD. A lot of people have said, they want to vote for Qiao Gu because Qiao Gu want more international exposure to get more sponsors. I don't know. That necessarily isn't a reason that I would vote for them because I just want the best team to go. I want the best level of competition. Those are the teams. Probably Qiao Gu or LGD are the best teams to vote for. Vici Gaming might be okay, but as I've already said on Twitter, if Master 3 goes to IEM San Jose, I am switching to Dota. Yeah.